Today on Dodson's Corner, we are going to be playing a little game called Agree or Disagree. So as you can see, me and Dylan have some whiteboards here, and I have come up with probably like 20, I don't even want to know what you're showing the camera, 20 different opinions that could be true, could be maybe wild, some hot takes, and we're going to be writing down on our whiteboards if we agree or disagree with them. I think this should be fun, and then we're going to have to argue our case a little bit.
Sorry, I was just messing around over here.
Am I going to have to cut that out of the video?
No,
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's
All
okay.
right. Well, it better be, because I'm not redoing that intro. Okay, first opinion. The UFC should put on less fight nights and saved ranked fighters for pay-per-view cards. All right. Do you know how to spell agree and disagree, Dylan?
I'm not sure. All right.
Ready?
Agree?
I agree.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think, okay, here's my thing. I think they should do consistently a card, whether it's a fight night or pay-per-view, every other week. Just do a pay-per-view every other week. We don't need 3 in a row and then a 2-week break. We don't need 7 in a row. You know, we have like 11 weeks in a row of UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't necessarily need that. I know it, like the winter break, I missed UFC for sure. But at the same time, right now, it's like every Saturday, I think 95% of fans aren't going to sit for 6 or 7 hours every single Saturday.
Well, I think right now we just have an extreme, but at the same time, it's like this is tough because I think I've been on board with, you know, cutting it down a little bit, but at the same time, it's like there's still just so many fighters that need to fight, which is
That's
tough.
the problem.
We you know, we live in a world where the lightweight division is like 100 fighters.
Yeah.
My autism's flaring up. But so, you know, we have champions like Zhang Weili, who it took her a year to get a fight, you know, and we don't have enough room. But then you get to like pay-per-views where we're struggling to build these pay-per-views because we don't have fights for the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like what is going on here?
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a mess.
Well, I think it's just because the UFC keeps growing in its roster, so by nature you're gonna have less ranked fighters.
Yeah, we stopped cutting people.
Well, not the heavyweights. We don't got any heavyweights left.
Yeah, there's 12.
Exactly.
Pretty soon just going to be the rankings. You
Yeah.
come in, you're 15th ranked. You got to work your way to the top. It's a tough one. You know, there's so many pros and cons for both sides.
Yeah. I was wondering, I was even thinking like they could make a separate offshoot of the UFC where it's like for all the lower ranked fights. I think they already do have like partnerships with like Cage Warriors from the UK and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Or even like for like what about, I mean, this is probably the production of it might be tough, but like Saturday nights, we can do it every you can have UFC every single Saturday, but it's just at the Apex and it's like 3 hours long and you have like 6 fights.
Yeah, it's just shorter.
Yeah, like do what they like a regular sporting event, you know, 3 hours long,
Yeah.
6-7 fights, and that just allows you to let these younger people fight. You know, I think it's kind of similar to what they do with like the Contender Series and Tough. So that kind of works into it. But like once it's gonna be Tough season, like it's gonna be even more UFC, and then Dana White Contender Series even more
Yeah.
UFC.
But Dana White Contender Series is actually good. Like
Yeah.
that's actually fun. I don't watch Tough, but
No.
I watch Dana White. All right, next up, I'm just gonna have this on my board and then write dis above it if I disagree.
Okay.
John Jones should be ranked lower than 5th on the current pound for pound list. I agree.
I agree. He should be 6.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Number 6. Islam, Ilya. This isn't in order, but Islam, Ilya, Pereira, Dricus, Merab,
Yeah.
Jones.
I think that's perfect. He hasn't fought in any high level competition in a while.
Cyril Gane
And
is
Stipe.
bum. Cyril Gane and Stipe.
Yeah, so he has 1 title defense at heavyweight. We're not counting all the light heavyweight stuff. That's too long ago now. 1 title defense at light heavyweight. That's the same as Merab, but against worse competition. Less than Dricus. Yeah, obviously Topuria and Alex Pereira are miles above him.
Yeah, I think that you have the argument that he could be 5. Him versus Merab, it's pretty close. You know, they both have 1 title defense, but you look at the quality of Merab's.
Yeah.
Merab beat an active champions, you know.
And the activity,
Jones
yeah.
beat the interim and the former 45-year-old champion.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think if you look at it right now, yeah,
Yeah. All right, next up, Dricus du Plessis is still an underrated champion. All right, ready?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I think especially when we're looking in terms of a champion, he is very good for the UFC. You know, he's very sociable. He's very marketing himself. And you look at it and it's like middleweight. He's going to fight Hamzat next. Who's going to be the better champion there? Probably Dricus. But the whole world wants to see Hamzat with that belt. You know, and I think Dricus is still just underrated because people count him out every single fight.
Yeah.
You know, and he just gets it done. It's so interesting because you wouldn't expect this guy to be as good as he is. You know, he's undefeated inside of the UFC 7-0 now or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Might
crazy.
even be more.
It's crazy.
But
and beating some of the best competition, you know. He
Whitaker,
beat
Strickland
everyone
twice,
on the way up.
and Adesanya.
Even Brunson and Till, like
Yeah.
he's beaten everyone.
Like he's quiet. I don't even know if it's quiet anymore, but like a win over Shemaev, and it's like
Him and Izzy are right up there, man. Like it's wild.
only Izzy Silva
Silva, watch your spot.
with those trash cans up there.
Interesting. Yeah. I think what made me think of this one is his Instagram followers. Like he has less followers than Zhang Weili still.
Hey, that's my queen.
Yeah, but still, you know, he's a champion with like 700K followers. Wild. All right, next up, Ilia Topuria is the most naturally skilled fighter in the UFC.
What do we mean by naturally skilled? Like born this way? I was born.
Yeah,
this way.
you know, like it gifted.
Okay.
Gifted. You know, with the least amount of training, he would be the best fighter.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of who else is there in the
Flip them. Okay, I want to hear your reasoning.
well, there's still one man who's barely active. It's John Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, John Jones still is the best build for the UFC, the longest reach. Like he's just built for the UFC.
Yeah,
you know?
I was kind of thinking like the combination of everything for Topuria, like his speed and power is just like, and like you just look at him and he is just like, he's just built different, you know? So like for me, it was like, you know, like he doesn't have to be number one, but he's like, he's one of the most, you know, he's up there in the conversation. You can make the argument for it.
I just think John Jones doesn't even train half the time, you know, and he still gets wins, you know. He's doing benders the night before.
Yeah.
And he still gets wins.
He's got that dollar bill rolled up.
Exactly. All right, next up. Bryce Mitchell should have been cut from the UFC after his controversial podcast episode. What do you think? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Agree.
I agree as well.
He is no longer coming for things from the point of free speech. It's turning into like hate.
Yeah.
You know, and like he is someone who the UFC is a company, and Bryce Mitchell is directly affecting that company.
Yeah.
You know, he has crossed the line over and over again. You know, Bryce Mitchell has crossed the line a few too many times. You know, it's not like it's stopping. And like you look at this, if this were to happen in any other pro sports, he'd be cut, you know, from that team, from that roster, he'd be just blacklisted, you know, but because it's the UFC, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, this is the conservative man's sport, you know, but it's time after time that he keeps on doing the same things. And it's not like it's like some elite fighter, you know, it's Bryce Mitchell, some former prospect who had a seizure, you know, that's what he is, you know? So for me, I would have had no issue with the UFC cutting him because it goes past the whole free speech stuff.
I don't think many people would have missed him, you know? Like
No.
it would have been kind of sad because he's still like an up and comer a little bit, but it's not like he's an undefeated massive name in the sport. He's just, and he's you know, if he was like a crazy boxer, it might be a little bit different, but he's pretty
farm
grapple
jitsu.
heavy. Farm jitsu. All right, next up, rankings should be done with AI instead of media members. I don't even know. This is kind of tough because like, what is AI? Like, what is AI going to do differently?
Yeah.
I agree.
I disagree just because I think, you know, there's so many struggles with AI.
Yeah, not like, okay, maybe not yet.
Yeah, I don't think AI is at the point. But I
Sure.
also think that rankings inside of the UFC, the way that we could have made it the simplest is you have a fighter who's ranked 7 and you have a fighter who's ranked 10. That 10th ranked fighter beats the 7th ranked fighter. Guess what? 7th ranked fighter goes ahead of this. The 10th ranked fighter goes to 7. 7th ranked fighter goes to 8. You know, to get into the rankings, you beat the person ahead of you. You know, you take that person's spot, and then everyone drops down one spot. You know, I think that's the simplest way. There's no just random jumbles. Oh, some people move down when they lose. Some people move up. Because then it's like, why? Why does your reasoning for that? Because, they lost. Well, this person lost and nothing happened, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's have it consistent where it's as simple as you beat this person, you take their spot, this person goes down. Not you beat this person, and then you go up an extra 2 spots, you know? Or these people didn't fight, but we're going to switch them spots randomly midweek.
Yeah, they've been doing that quite a lot.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think they're trying to like overcorrect for some stuff right now.
But there's no need to. Let the fighters fighting actually be what the rankings are about, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like something needs to change. I'm just not sure what, you know?
Yeah.
But then again, like, the rankings don't actually mean anything.
No.
So it's all a lie. Society is a lie. Quality of matchups is more important than the star power of a matchup. Oh, let's see if you're a real hardcore. Okay, ready?
Oh, I'm glad we have the same thing. Disagree.
Ultimately, it ultimately comes down to the name value. You know, like the reason why we care about the big fights is because they've built themselves up over years and years and years, or there's a storyline behind it. For, you know, I think the best example of this is the Daniel Zellhuber fight versus the Esteban Ribovic in the Sphere. It's probably a fight that no one was excited for. Like, you're not looking forward to that fight at the Sphere, but coming out of it, it was one of the fights of the year.
It was like the highlight of that night.
Exactly. It was the highlight of that night. Top 4 fight of the year. Absolute war. But more often than not, you're not going to get that. Right. So you might get that 1 out of 100 no-name fights, or maybe even 1 out of 200. Like, it's so rare to get that quality of fight. Whereas for a title fight, it just has so much more weight to it.
Well, and here's the thing is you get 15 title fights a year, we'll say.
Yeah.
Realistically, you get 15.
Probably even more.
16, 17.
Yeah.
You know, something around there. All right. Because we have a couple double ups. All right. Under 20 title fights a year, you know. You think about the quality of those title fights, the percentage of it, versus we have 8 trillion other fights during the year. So, yeah, there's going to be some good fights there, you know? But also at the same time, it's like the professional sports is not targeted towards the diehard fans. That's not how it works. It is targeted at the people who will watch UFC if they know the person. They'll go and buy that pay-per-view because they know that one of the fighters. Oh, they see John Jones. How many more people who used to watch UFC 10 years ago are going to go and watch that?
Yeah.
You know, it's about the name value. And that's not saying that it's just about the champions. It's you build up these young fighters. The next time Zellhuber and Ribovic are on a card, people are going to watch because these guys went to war last time. The next time that Oralby and Rebecca are on a card, people are going to want to watch that fight because these guys went to war. They built up that name value, you know?
Yeah.
So now we're interested. We build this relationship with these fighters. We feel the wins and the losses with those fighters because that's because of who they are, their name, you know?
Preach, brother. Preach.
I'm feeling it.
All right, should we do 3 more?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot on here. Let us know if you guys want a part 2 if you're enjoying this.
I want to do this one.
All right.
And maybe this one.
Okay. Dude, I cooked on these, all right? Peyton Talbot is still a future title contender.
Oh, wait, maybe not anymore.
Disagree.
Disagree.
I don't believe Peyton Talbot is ever going to be a title contender.
Is it because that he's on Frank Ocean's story now?
Yeah. No, it's not because of that, but that probably contributes to it. I don't know. I think that it just shows that there's so much more that he needs to learn. Like, I don't know what happened. I thought his grappling was way better than that. And if like he's not 21, right? Like he's 26, around that age. So he's not like a super green prospect. I think if we look at Sean O'Malley's career, which is like the easiest direct comparison, Sean O'Malley was not getting fraud checked by these types of guys. You know, Bo Nickel isn't even getting fraud checked by these type of guys. And I'm not confident that Bo Nickel is going to be a title contender.
Yeah, he's one of your pillars.
Oh God, why'd I ever say that?
No,
and
I
then
like
even
that.
Umar. You know, like Umar did unspeakable things to Raoni Barcelos, and he is a title contender. And he's not that much older. He's 28.
I think with Peyton Talbot I see this as having potential to be what he needed. You know, how easy were things going for him inside of the UFC?
Yeah.
He walks in there, gets a 19-second KO. He's like, all right, how hard do I actually have to train? I hope that he takes this as the humbling, you know, and actually locks in, you know, and realizes that, you know, it was easy for so long, but now I actually gotta grapple. I gotta grapple every single day.
Grapple with Frank Ocean every night.
I still have some faith because you look at it. One early loss doesn't stop a career. Islam Makhachev, use that example. Happens again.
No, I always knew Islam was a fraud, though. He's a fraud, honestly. If you don't believe that, no, that's very fair. That's a very fair take from Dylan. I think I'm just recency bias.
I tend to be an optimist.
Yeah,
you know,
fair.
that's why I think my ex is getting back with me.
Okay, Robert Whittaker will go on a losing skid. Losing skid meaning three fights or more. All right, ready?
I'm torn, actually. I thought I had my answer. Agree.
I agree as well.
I think
It's time to accept he's cooked.
yeah. And what is really going on with that mouth? Is that going to happen?
What that mouth do, brother?
What if that starts happening every fight? Because it's not like this was the first time against Chimaev. This is something that's happened before. And you know, if his next fight's against Strickland, that's a tough fight on a bounce back.
Yeah.
From there,
I think it would more likely be Kyle, but any of his next matchups, it's probably going to be top 6.
if it's Kyle, I'm changing that to disagree.
Really?
I think he beats Kyle still.
Yeah, it's
One
tough
head
though.
kick. One
It's
head
tough.
kick.
He just has no chin, and
Yeah.
he's had no chin for years now. So it's like you can never confidently pick Robert Whittaker because if he gets rocked in the first round, even against Paulo Costa, you know he got caught by that spinning wheel kick and he recovered. But if that round 1 lasted 30 seconds longer, who knows what the outcome would have
Well, and
been.
here's the thing: if he's going up there to fight Barajo, you know, all he needs is Barajo to pull out, and they put up his crappy, worser Brazilian cousin to fight. A little uppercut.
yeah, true. Ikram part 2.
But I think that the chances of him going on a skid are more likely than
I think so.
chance of him bouncing back.
Yeah.
Just because we look at the top of middleweight, it's so good.
He's been in the UFC for so long now.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken so much damage. Even the Yoel Romero wars, like he gets rocked every single fight, and eventually it's time to go, blood. You know, like Adesanya.
Yeah.
It's time to go now. All right, let's do one more.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. All right, special request from Dylan. Last one. I could name 10 women UFC fighters or more.
Agree.
I agree too.
How many do you think you can name? Have you seen that game where they're like,
Yeah, of course.
we're playing it right now? I think I could name 15.
I call bullshit. I don't believe you. I just don't believe you.
There's 15 women Asian UFC fighters.
All right.
right.
Well, they usually have a time limit.
Okay, give me a minute.
Okay, I'll give you 60 seconds.
I probably won't even need it.
Start a timer for 60 seconds.
Oh, this is.
All right, go.
Okay, so we'll start at the top. Zhang Weili, Yang Jianan, Tatiana Suarez, Rose Namajunas,
Oh, he's counting.
Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso. We have Kayla Harrison. Is Holly Holm still active? No,
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have.
Wait, she's in the GFL now.
Yeah.
I'll count it.
What's that other lady's name? So we got Wang Kong. You got Aaron Blanchfield. You got I'm forgetting a champion. I don't even know what her name.
I know. Yeah.
We have what's Bum Girl's name? Oh wait, Tracy Cortez.
4 more.
Girl? Mackenzie Dern.
Who are you talking about?
the bum shaker.
Oh yeah.
Crap. I said Aaron Blanchfield
9 seconds.
already.
9 seconds.
Oh, no, I'm cooked. I end up forgetting a champion.
There's Verna Jandaroba, the Raw Roses Jr.
Oh, that's
lookalike.
what one I was looking for.
Yeah, there's Eileen Perez.
Yeah, that's the bum girl. I forgot Starvin Marvin, Angela Hill.
True.
She was fresh on the dope. She was the first one I was thinking.
And then our Canadian, Juice Davicius. Yeah.
Well,
That was close.
that was 12.
Yeah.
I got 12 women's UFC fights.
Very close.
And 2 out of the 3 champions.
That's crazy.
You never even named the other champ.
It's
Oh, Julia Pena.
Juliana Pena. I want to say Nunes. That's all I could think in my head, but Nunes.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Chris Cyborg.
Misha Tate. Is that still a fighter? Misha Tate.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Go down to those comments. Let us know, what do you guys think of this video idea? Like, I had fun with it.
It was
I'm sure
great.
Lucas had fun with it. So if you guys like this, we can do this again. We can
Shout
do
out
this
our
more
first
often.
sponsor, Zoa Energy. Shout out
The Rock. Hit us up.
Close personal friend.
But while you're down there, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.